One of the defining attributes of being human is being curious. As humans, we are curious about the natural world in which we find ourselves, about the universe, about our planet. Science allows you to explore your passion for the natural world, to understand why things are the way they are. You learn to ask the right questions, you learn how to answer those questions, and that way of thinking is extremely valuable no matter what you go on to do in life.
TRIUMPH is Canada's national laboratory for particle physics. And so for us, it's great because it's just down the road. So UBC is in a privileged position in this case. It gives us resources that most universities don't have. Particle physics is the sort of ultimate in reductionist science. It's the what is everything made of and what are the forces. We have a model called the Standard Model, which is very good at describing what we've seen. However, it only explains 4% of the universe. 23% is something that we think is dark matter, and then another sort of 3/4 is something called dark energy, which we're really in the dark about. So one way that we study these things is we try to make these particles. A lot of these haven't been created since the beginning of the universe, since the very early stages of the Big Bang. In this quest, we've been building larger and larger machines to concentrate enough energy into a very small space so that you can actually produce these new particles. We built part of the Atlas detector at TRIUMPH. It's 50 meters long, 25 meters high. It has about 100 million channels. So we take data at this enormous rate, 40 million events a second, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just an unprecedented data set. I love having undergrads work in my lab, and many of my colleagues do the same. So and you get an incredible experience because you're working on the top-notch experiments that are producing the most interesting science in the world, because UBC is one of the top universities in the world, and we work on important experiments, and we have resources, and you can contribute, and you can actually do real science and move things ahead as an undergrad.
The Faculty of Science at the University of British Columbia ranks among the very best science faculties in the world. We have strong programs in the physical sciences, in the natural sciences, in mathematics and computer science. At the undergraduate level, we have innovative programs in environmental science, in integrated science that lets you tailor your educational program to explore connections between different disciplines.
So I took a pretty unconventional path during my undergraduate degree here at UBC. So when I first came here, I knew that I was interested in the sciences, and I started by doing Science 1 because I thought it would be really cool to study the sciences in an integrated manner. Through the biophysics program and through my contacts, I was able to get a summer research experience with Dr. Vesna Saucy.
I quite enjoy undergraduate students, their freshness. I think they can bring a lot to a laboratory. Being a physicist, my students are physicists, and sometimes I throw at them problems that are purely biology problems, that are kinetic modeling problems, and it happened quite often that they would come up with a fresh look at things.
I really like to use physics and math as tools to understand biology, but I'm more shifted towards the biological problems, in neuroscience or medicine, for example.
My own philosophy is really to immerse them in the lab, and they're given a problem they have to work on, and they work with other graduate students, with faculty that's appropriate.
I got a publication out of my research work as an undergraduate. You can go to conferences, present posters, and there's a lot of opportunities available. What I decided to do is to apply to medicine, and eventually I'm planning to pursue neurology so that I can keep doing research in neurology in an interdisciplinary way. Your undergraduate is really the time for you to explore and find your passion, because ultimately you want to be happy about what you're doing, and you can definitely do that at UBC. It's great.
Our natural world is also changing. We're seeking to better understand those changes and to understand, more importantly, our role as humans in driving some of those changes.
For people who are interested in biology and the natural world, I can't imagine a better place to be situated. We sit on the edge of a wilderness. On one side, we have this incredible forest that you can walk into and really experience nature in a way that most people probably have never seen it. On the other side of the campus, we can walk on a beach. We can look out in the ocean and we can see killer whales, harbor seals, and everywhere we look around the campus, because we're on this point of land, we see wildlife, and we just see an affirmation of why we do what we do. We've become one of the leading centers in the world to study marine mammals, largely because of where we're located and because of the people and the resources we can draw upon. One of our facilities is the Open Water Research Station. It's a floating lab, and we have sea lions that have been trained to swim with the researchers. We're working with our animals, trying to understand why the population in Alaska has declined. Why are they on the endangered species list?
I actually am working directly with these huge, incredible animals, and there's not very many jobs out there where you get to work directly with animals that are this well trained and this intelligent, and I think it's just something that's really unique. Stellar sea lions are disappearing in Alaska, and we're trying to figure out why. So these sea lions that we have here are really trying to kind of the key to helping us figure out what's going on in the wild.
What we're seeing with the students that are coming to UBC is this intense desire to want to make a difference in the world. They're concerned about conservation, they're concerned about the changes that are happening globally. They want the research that they do here to matter. They want it to affect real change.
I hope that what we're doing here with the sea lions can really help with the big picture and ensure that another species doesn't disappear, because there's been a lot of species that have disappeared in my lifetime, and that's not something that I like to see, and I think that this is something hands-on that I can actually do to help.